Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
LF to the G, man. I'm fired up, focused, and prepared. Vols are getting ready to play some football. I'm jacked, and packed about that. We had a Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime to the Stars last night. That'll never be forgotten by this living fan as the Vols put on a show for the ages. Actually, how do I put this? Let's see here. Man, these early season games are hard to watch. You know? Unless you're, and we had some real hoops heads that jumped in there last night with us, which is great. But there was, well, let me ask TGMD, who's a real sicko for all this stuff. And be honest with me, TGMD, how much basketball did you watch last night? I want a dead level honesty from you. Be honest.
About 20, 25 minutes of it.
There you go. Now we're.
I have to watch a pirated stream on YouTube because YouTube TV's still not with ESPN yet.
Mikasa is always open to you. If you ever want to come over, you're welcome to use our sports bar.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for a quad 4 game.
That's the point. Like Laura last night, she was out with our daughter and late getting back, and I can't figure out how to turn everything on in here. You know, she's like, Tony, it's a game against North Florida. I mean, what? There really is kind of a ramp up to this, isn't there, Matt?
Well, yeah. For the real games that count. I mean, the exhibitions with Duke are kind of cool, and that's a lot of fun and a new wrinkle to this. But again, I mean, that game doesn't really count. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Some of these games are just, and you have just so much roster turnover that it's, you know, you get kind of a little bit of sloppiness.
Yes.
Teams just aren't clicking.
Yes.
You're not doing a whole lot of running real offense, and you're certainly not doing a lot defensively. So it's just, I don't know. They're difficult watches right now, more so than in the past.
That's kind of where I'm at. And then, like I was telling Bri last night, and I shouldn't be saying this kind of thing on the air, but I joined Bri for about a half hour last night. And my observations are that you can take this stuff and watch it like you're really watching something that matters. But really what you're watching is a practice. That's what you're watching. I mean, they're loosely doing things offensively that resemble team basketball right now. Like Nega Dave, you know, and I love Nega Dave, but he overreacts to everything, and people like him. And I'm not a tell you how to think person, never have been, but I do share my opinion. My opinion on this early season stuff is these games are really, really great for Rick Barnes because They're low-risk basketball games. They're not going to lose. It's impossible for Tennessee to lose to that North Florida team. That's never going to happen. And I mean ever. Because you're physically that much better than all these teams. And, Bri, this Rice team that comes in here Monday night, Matt, an 8:30 start. So I'm sure Matt will be on with us on our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime after that one into the wee small hours of the morning. Matt, am I right on that? Will you be on with us about 11 o'clock Eastern time? You excited about that?
I thought Brian did such a great job last night that I don't want to get involved in those yet. He's doing so good.
Let's go. Let's go. By the way, C is absent today. C is what we call abstaining. Brian, you really did do a great job last night. And I was in here going, I don't know why we're playing these games. Like, I was just saying things into the microphone. I know why we're playing the games. You'd have to play the games. Those schools need them to make money. Tennessee needs them for developing their team down the line. But then the question becomes, from a fan perspective, and Matt, this is where I come in, because I like to kind of just look at things as objectively as possible. From a fan's perspective, I say to myself, what, pray tell, is the point in this? So you find yourself doing the same thing while you're looking at it? Because that's exactly what I'm doing as a fan. I'm going, this is not a contest. These lineups we're playing aren't real. It sure is great to see J.P. Estrella out there doing his thing. Like, I'm not saying the games aren't of value. The games certainly are of value. But, boy, they're hard to watch. Does anybody else share my opinion on that at 865-200-5402? Now, Kentucky and Louisville the other night, extremely fun to watch. And I mean extremely fun to watch. That was a fun to watch early season basketball game. Matt, did you find yourself tuning into that? Because that was pretty good sports, really.
No, I did watch that.
Good
Absolutely.
sports.
Yeah.
Good
the right team
sports.
was winning basically the whole game.
Yes.
So yes, I watched a whole lot of that one. That was good. And it was a pretty entertaining game.
Very good game.
Not a whole lot of defense.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a good watch.
Kentucky last night, or the other night, defended not at all. And then Louisville down the stretch kind of let them hang around in the game. And it's a fun basketball game. And you can tell from both sides, even though culturally speaking, these aren't lineups where these kids have either grown up there, or a few of the guys have. But there's still a little something when Louisville and Kentucky get on the floor with each other. And the thing I like about that series, too, is that it's played in each other's buildings early in the year. So there's value in all that as far as I'm concerned. 865-200-5402 is the number. Have you guys seen some of the names that are being mentioned for some of these jobs? Because I was exchanging texts with somebody today who keeps their ear to the ground. And apparently, did I miss something? Eli Drinkafifth right now is emerging as a candidate at Penn State, according to the people that follow such stuff. Which leads me to this. Is the coaching pool out there a kiddie pool? Is it a kiddie pool this year? There are 3 different places that want Lane Kiffin. There are several openings. Eli Drinkafifth for one of the top 3 openings in the deal? I'm sorry, but Matt, did I miss something? And if you're a Penn State fan, how would that news make you feel? What are we doing in major college football? What are we doing right now? Eli Drinkafifth? You think that evokes fear in
I don't
anybody
think
in major college football.
Fire James Franklin to hire Eli Drinkwitz. I'd rather just keep who I had and let him struggle, and he'll fix it if he's a good coach.
I mean, you see this. There's so many openings now, and high profile openings this year, especially. And there's just not coaches that have the resumes that fit taking those jobs. And you see teams and fan bases want to change, but the change sometimes and a lot of times isn't an upgrade. I mean, Florida got rid of Dan Mullen, who was pretty good, and they wound up getting a guy who came and go 500 and was terrible in game.
You called
and
that.
Billy Napier, and that's Penn State certainly doesn't seem like they're going to hire somebody that's better than James Franklin, and they're almost certainly going to hire a guy that's going to be worse.
I mean, the guy has never, and I mean ever, at Missouri where they spent pretty good money. See, that's the quiet little secret we all know. What games of consequence, Matt, has Missouri won since he's been in the league? Give me a win of consequence for them.
You could say the Ohio State game and the bowl game, but that's when everybody opted out.
No.
I mean, the game
Bowl
over
games.
Tennessee was pretty big.
Bowl games don't count.
Tennessee was like an 8-win team that year.
Yeah, Tennessee doesn't count.
It was
Walking
big
out.
for Missouri at that point, but
it does not a big game.
No. The point is, I don't think the guy, we could go back and comb through his record. I don't know that they have a win of significance under him. And that's the exact reason. See, here's the thing Sean Sinclair was talking about yesterday, which is a very cursory tale in the sport. And look, I get it. Josh Heupel this year has had a pretty rough season managing football games. He has. I'm not going to be an apologist for him. At the same time, we have to admit this, okay? There exists a scenario on the board where the Vols go 7-5 this year, and he gets a big raise. I was thinking about that all kind of last night and how people are going to react to that. Because out of its context, it's going to make a lot of people very angry that a guy that's already handsomely paid is going to get a raise after going 7-5, but really he's going to get a raise after going 10-2 after going 7-5. That's really, and he's going to get a raise because, again, the pool from which these schools are going to hire is a kiddie pool. It's a kiddie pool of coaches. It's almost laughable how some of these programs are going to end up on whom they end up with. It is almost going to be, Matt, kind of comical to watch this. And the other thing is, and I'm really coming to this conclusion, stability really matters. Look at what's going on at LSU right now. Look at the instability. Look at the governor being involved in that. Look at how silly they are. Look at how unserious they look. Look at Tennessee. Look at how serious Tennessee looks. Now, we have an AD that does bits, and that's okay. But for the most part, he stays out of the way, and it is what it is. He's not a very meddlesome guy with his coaches, as we saw, which is probably a real plus for Josh Heupel. He just kind of leaves guys alone and lets them do their thing. And there's a real opportunity here for Tennessee. There's also a real opportunity for Josh Heupel to get himself a raise. And look, I didn't do it, but he is going to get a raise. No matter what happens from here, he's going to get a raise because he's going to, Matt, they're going to call his agent. You know they are. Somebody out there is going to call his agent, and maybe a couple schools are going to call his agent. Why? Plays an inviting brand of football. He's functioned at a pretty high level in this era, so he's proven he can do it. And he can kind of fog up a mirror. Some of these names that are mentioned at some of these jobs, I'm sorry, I'm a little underwhelmed. You know what? It's almost to the point, guys, where the AD out there that, and look, Indiana got lucky. Did Indiana know what they were getting in Kurt Signetti? No. No, they didn't. But Matt mentioned the guy that's now at UNLV, who might be on his way elsewhere. After the former Missouri coach who was at UNLV, who jumped up a level. It might be that you've got to do your homework on some guys that are in the Sun Belt, in some of these other leagues, in the American, in the Mountain West.
Hyson Helton.
Well, that might be what you're.
That's
that might be what you're looking at. I mean, we've got Bobby.
Somebody's gonna hire him.
We got Bobby Wilder on in like an hour. Okay. 60's the new 40. Kurt Signetti at his level is cross a diamond with the pearl. And he's the man right now in the deal. And Bobby Wilder has Tennessee Tech undefeated this late in the season. Now, Matt, they go to Kentucky this weekend. How funny would it be to see Tennessee Tech go to Kentucky and play them off their feet? And maybe beat them.
Oh, it'd be incredible. It'd be, yeah.
I mean, I would drink to that.
Kind of recent success. Yeah. I kind of had that as a game that Tennessee Tech could actually win because Kentucky was kind of a dead program.
Yes.
I mean, you had Stoops walking around, pacing the sidelines with his hands in his pockets against Tennessee, and now they kind of found some life, which, depending on how Kentucky approaches it, they could overlook this game.
The Boley guy adds a little life, and they could overlook the game. They've won 2 games. They could go in the other direction. Hey, we're back. We blew Florida out. You could say to me, well, Tennessee's playing New Mexico State this weekend and blah, blah. The way Saturday sets up is our Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction is actually going to be a Florida watch party. Because as soon as our game ends, their game begins. And it'll be really interesting to see what kind of product they put on the field against Ole Miss. Ole Miss is literally, Matt, going to clinch a playoff berth Saturday night with a win. Am I wrong in that? Help me do the math here, guys. What are we doing? Ole Miss? How has this happened?
A&M's going to clinch a playoff berth pretty much.
A&M,
if they haven't already.
2 schools that have never done anything. And I'm going to tell you right now, you look at that board, and I thought it was going to be us. This Vanderbilt team, if they go 10-2, could get left at home. There's only so many playoff spots to go around. I mean, they're a nice story. Wouldn't it be interesting, guys, to see what the committee does with Vanderbilt, who still right now are sort of on the outside looking in, needing a little help? Don't you think, Matt, it'll be real interesting to see what the committee does with the Vanderbilt if they invite him to the party at the end of the year, if they end up 10-2, God forbid, because that means it would be at our expense, and I really don't want to do that post-game show, nor the aftermath.
Yeah, Brian will have a heavy load that day.
I'm going to come down with a stomach virus.
I still am under the belief you go 10-2 in the SEC, you're in the playoffs, even if it's Vandy, and I still hold to that. I mean, you have Texas and Oklahoma are both underdogs on the road this weekend and likely to lose.
Yeah,
to have their 3rd loss. That'll drop I just. If Vanderbilt was to win out, I think they're in.
Well, let's count the playoff.
Hopefully they don't do that though.
Let's count the playoff teams. A&M's getting in. A&M's getting in. Ole Miss is getting in. That's 2. Alabama and Georgia. That's 4. You're only going to have 5. The 5 is Texas, Vandy, Oklahoma. Who else is in it? Is that it?
I think that's it.
I mean, last year we got 3, right?
Yes.
So.
And there were 3 teams that felt like they should have been in, but.
What I wonder.
All with three losses.
Yeah, here's where it becomes interesting. If Texas, let's say they lose to Georgia, but then they turn around and beat A&M at the end of the year, which that would be a very A&M thing to let Texas do
And let's
that.
say Vandy goes 10-2 and Texas has a win over Vandy.
That's
what
the
do you
point.
do then?
That and Texas is 9-3, but they have that loss to Ohio State, who's easily, and I hate saying this, okay, because I was watching one of the Ohio State things on YouTube last night, one of their local market shows, and they were bragging about all these recruits they have. I mean, my gosh, if I had a $50 million payroll, I think I could get some players too. If you think for 5 seconds that the Ohio States of the world are adhering to the $17 million that some of the teams in this league are, or the $15 million, whatever the expenditure is, you're out of your mind if you believe that. I mean, you're out of your mind. There's no way they're doing that. There's no telling how much Ohio State, and good for them, is spending on their payroll. And so how does the committee, Matt, treat Arch Manning 9-3 versus Vanderbilt at 10-2? That's Texas, y'all. That's a lot of eyeballs on the TV screen. That's a Manning in the playoffs. That's a lot of eyeballs in the TV screen. And they have the head-to-head win over Vanderbilt, which they could justify, making the regular season matter. It's going to be interesting. Lot of football this weekend. What happens if Texas upsets Georgia? What then? Then you throw this thing totally into complete chaos. And I want chaos, by the way. If we're not going to be in it, I want chaos. I personally think it would almost be comical if Andy went 10-2, Matt, and got left at home. Now, obviously, I wouldn't think it would be comical if they beat the Vols, but if they went 10-2 and got left at home, that would be some freaking dark humor, man. Real dark humor.
Yeah, it would.
Real dark. If it wasn't at our expense, why do I feel like Kentucky's got a decent chance against them next weekend with this Boley guy?
I guess probably the same reason you think Texas has a chance against Georgia this weekend.
Interesting. I guess because
you've been fading Vandy and Georgia all season.
I guess because it's college football.
Well, Texas is 7-2, but it feels like they're 5-4.
Yes, it does, Bri. They're kind of lurking there.
It feels like a very, very un-7-2 like team.
Well, they're just dreadful on offense. You can't block anybody. I mean, they just can't play. They have a real tester this weekend because that Texas offense and that Arkansas defense, you talk about the something has to give bowl. Speaking of bowls, Bri, where are we projected right now? Bri's all over this. Speaking of bowl games.
Well, the last one I saw had them playing Miami in the Gator Bowl.
Let's go, man. Doug in Jacksonville. Let's go. Have you guys seen who Miami's now involved with, the quarterback they're involved with? Lenoris Sellers.
Yes.
How do you think he would do with a change of scenery and going down there being surrounded by a bunch of high-priced talent? Because Miami, in case you haven't noticed, they're spending. Now,
he could be the next quarterback to throw 3 picks in a big game and lose for them.
I'm not sure
when they're favored by 10.
There you go. I'm not sure what they're getting for their money, but they sure are spending. 865-200-5402. The last couple weeks of the regular season are going to be crazy. And then the fun's are really going to begin. Because the fun is going to be how many, and I wrote it today in the blog, we were talking about the other day, how many players do you think we have that are currently on other rosters? I mean, I wouldn't even know how to track that. There are so many. Matt the other day, first glance was probably, I don't know, north of 40. Well, what are we doing in college football? What are we doing? And Cinco was talking about something that Austin Price said, which is guys that are freshmen that come in that don't play, they're all of a sudden, they're looking around for their next stop. There is zero patience. Zero patience. So we have a lot to talk about on a Thursday, 865-200-5402. As we continue with more on the other side, Bobby Wilder joins at noon. Topics up for grabs. This early season Quad 4 basketball tour that the Vols are taking. I shouldn't say this out loud, but man, it's really hard to watch. Now, Brian, Rice does have a quality win on the year, right? That Rice bunch has got.
Rice beat Biblical Studies 109-38. They're coached by the coach known as Ice Handler, Rob Lanier.
Let's go!
Assistant. And
Ice Handler.
we need to start calling him the Rice Handler now.
With a win over
Biblical Studies. No word if Dead Sea Scrolls was available or not.
Biblical Studies.
We can't play with your food in these early season games.
No, man.
And obviously, Biblical Studies did.
As we continue with more on the other side. Only question is, was that a King James? Did they play with the King James ball or the NIV ball? What ball did they use in that game? Biblical Studies against Rice. Whew. See? Basilio, just when you think, because whoever that poor fool is that has to do Garza Law, Rice basketball overtime after what game, Bri, was it again?
Biblical Studies. Bino said we're going to see Biblical Studies pop up on a football schedule at the end of November before Thanksgiving one week here.
As we continue.
On an SEC schedule.
What division in basketball is Biblical Studies, Bri? That might be the most next level thing I've ever heard.
I've literally I've seen that school pop up on scoreboards, but I have no idea what level they are.
Are they
Are
they called the Fighting Saints?
I have no clue.
Minnesota Fighting Saints and the WHA.
They could be the disciples, the Fighting Disciples.
Anybody out there?
12-man team.
What a great line. Rob Lanier. Is that their lone win, Bri?
They might play the Giants in spring training this year.
Bri, is that their lone win? What a great line.
That's their lone win. They play a game Friday again. I think somebody they should win, but that's their lone win to this point. They're 1-2.
Tony Vols, if he would have stuck around, could have gotten them, Matt, for a preseason series. My great Jennifer Morris, our latest proud sponsor of the program to practice sponsor on caller crime. She has a new commercial that will debut today. Sponsor on caller crime. As we continue with more, maybe that's a fad that's catching. As we continue on your Thursday after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.